Hello, 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 hello. Another day, it's Ray again. And of course, shouting out or, give a shout out on behalf of Ivaneti After School and Tutoring Services. And this is a tutoring service, of course, that speaks to the welfare of the educational thirst. We fill that gap. We work on you getting up to par or staying ahead of what's been taught in your respective courses, especially those disciplines that have to do with math and the physical sciences. So if you see where there is a need to get you on par or to keep you ahead of what's going on in your school, your college, then feel free to give Ray a call. I may be reached at 914-447-1819. Again, I may be reached at 914-447-1819. It's Ivaneti After School and Tutoring Services. That's where it's a new beginning for the educationally thirsty. Today, I want to speak, generally on our development through the awareness for education. It may be sometimes confusing as to what is a true definition for education. And I may have alluded to this before, that being educated may not be necessarily something brought on through formal teaching, a formal classroom setting. There are some who may have gotten or may have attained a certain level of education that is self-taught. But my friends, that's in the minority. It's possible, highly probable, but it's in the minority. So the viable alternative, or the most viable, I would say, for acquiring that certain level of education, or a level of education, high level of education, this is going to follow this staircase effect. And sometimes this is not readily available when we are self-taught. We may pick onto different topics, but the overall, the embodiment, the holistic approach is definitely not there. So I personally would recommend that step-by-step, that sequential way of acquisition. And that's through formal methods. Again, I am not saying it's not possible to acquire informally, but it's very, very, very hard, almost impossible. And I've not seen, out of probably millions of people, you'll find a few hundred that have gone through that stage. And those are special people, I must say. There is something special about the person who has acquired a great standard level of education without going through the formal stages. So I would ask that if you are thirsty for knowledge, if you're thirsty for educational development, then you should go out there and explore opportunities. See what's there that can aid you along, that can make you more of a rounded person, a well-rounded person. Some of us who may have gone to some private institutions may realize in later years that we were not as rounded as those who have gone somewhere else or in the public system, because they were centered around a few subject areas and not looking that they were fixed on getting you ready, for example, to enter college or university, but other areas were actually neglected. And I myself found myself in that kind of a predicament where talking with people, there are certain subject areas that I was really dumb. I would say I would call it dumb, like the geography and the other subject areas. I had to really pick those up by going to a formal institution, of course, by myself, because it was not there for me when I attended my junior years of school. So it is important that we align ourselves with with a path that is more rounded, more helpful in taking us to that point where we can speak on more generally. We can speak more generally. It's great to be mathematically inclined, physically inclined, be a great English person, but there are other aspects of education that need to be visited. And if we are deficient, not only for talking points, but there is that need to apply these areas into our mathematical life, our physical life, and everything. So everything is more or less intertwined. And that's the reason for the formality of educational development. I ask, that we all visit our travel along the educational path, or revisit our travel. And if we're going to be advisors for our children, then we should know where our deficiencies were. And deficiencies not because of not being able to do, but being able to access. So we have to try and be in an environment where accessibility of all areas, or most areas of educational development, is been delivered. So work on what you want to be, and of course, we want to be practitioners, in our different areas of specialization, but those get highlighted by the knowledge of generality, I must say. So we need to go on that hunt with that thirst, because that thirst highlights that crave for moving forward. And with that crave, we will grab at the different areas where knowledge live. So if you're looking for some pointers, you can give us a call. I am Ray Johnson, Ivanetti After School and Tutoring Services, the place where education is taken in context and is delivered in accordance with the status quo. Again, you can give us a call at 914-447-1819. It's Ray Johnson at 914-447-1819. Keep on keeping that thirst for educational development, and you will achieve that knowledge base that will be reflected in your physical and professional development. One love.